My name is Claire Bourg, and I will be performing the Khachaturian Violin Concerto with the CYSO at the concert, and I am a senior in high school at Mattea Valley High School. I actually got started when I was 5 years old in the Aurora Suzuki violin program. So I guess my mom, before she even met my dad, she kind of decided she wanted her kids to be musical. I guess my grandma just played cello for fun. I mean, nobody in my family is really musical at all. So when I was 5, I started, and then my sister started shortly after that. And I really didn't get going on it or want to practice or anything until I was like a freshman. So I was kind of, I guess, a late bloomer. I guess some kids start doing competitions and all these things so early on. But I don't know, after I kind of started going to see concerts like the CSO, I just thought, wow, how interesting and how different it is from every other profession you can possibly imagine. So I started practicing because I really just wanted to grow as a musician, and then kind of thought that I could do it as a profession. This piece was written for my teacher's teacher, David Oistrakh. So it's kind of a staple for my teacher for his kids to learn, and this was actually the first concerto I played with him when I came to him. His name's Cyrus Rowe. And he really wanted to bring out the more strong, edgy side in my playing, because I guess before it was a little too nice and I don't know, just not as forthright. So he just gave me the piece kind of to get me in motion, and I really fell in love with it. My favorite things about the Khachaturian would probably be how strong and powerful it is. I mean, the very beginning is so powerful. The entrance of the orchestra and then the entrance of the violin is kind of to match that persona, and I just really enjoy that. And in the third movement, I mean, the technicality, it's kind of basically one etude, and just all of the different timings that go into it with the orchestra, it's really incredible. Probably the most challenging part would be getting that strong sound without crunching it, or kind of really have to let the sound be produced on its own with your own weight, but at the same time, when you get so into it, get so energized, it's easy to kind of get in your own little world and tense up, and it doesn't kind of flow like it should. And then probably the third movement, I mean, just the fast nature and the spiccato, it's just a technique of its own that you really have to get used to, and it takes a lot of time. I remember, I mean, I really couldn't do it at first. I mean, it does take, for me, a year to develop.
The impetus for this whole program is that Claire won the competition last year with the Khachaturian Violin Concerto. I've had Also sprach Zarathustra in the back of my mind for many years in terms of repertoire for symphony, but I remembered when she won with the Khachaturian that there was another piece of music on the 2001 soundtrack, a little-known piece by Khachaturian, the Guyana Adagio, that would connect with the concerto, and so that was the genesis of this whole 2001 Space Odyssey theme with the Also sprach Zarathustra and with the League of the Atmospheres. And in terms of interjecting the Guyana Adagio in between the first and third movements of the concerto, generally speaking, when we have a student soloist, because there are so many other pieces that we want to play on the orchestra hall concerts, we only hear a portion of the concerto, and what seemed to work best was the idea of Claire playing the outer movements and our simply interjecting the Guyana Adagio in between them, and that's really how that all came about.